So in the past, I used to be like a serial procrastinator at pending assignments, pending homework, pending everything. In this video, I'm going to share 3 things that allowed me to completely kill the procrastination and become someone who's proactively doing things. So the very first thing that I was doing that turned me into a procrastinator was that I was sedating myself. I was sedating myself with all these things that give you instant gratification: video games, fast food, movies, Netflix. The things that I was doing actually in my day-to-day life were far more exciting than the tasks that I had to do. And as a result of that, I never wanted to do that main task. I was just so content with receiving massive amounts of dopamine for little to no effort. And think about it, why would you want to do something that requires focus, concentration, and hard work if you can get cheap dose of instant pleasure without doing any of the hard work? So the very first thing that I had to do was remove all these sedating mechanisms from my life. I had to quit fast food, I had to quit video games, I had to quit binge watching shows, and once I actually quit all these things, I became more inclined towards doing those hard, complicated tasks that I was procrastinating for days or months. But if you have something in your life that you do on a regular basis that is more exciting than the important tasks of your day, then chances are you're not probably going to do those important tasks. So eliminate the sedations. I know it's hard, but you have to do it. You have to eliminate the sedations in order to kill procrastination. The next reason why I was such a procrastinator was because I never had decided a time and a place for a task. Like, I had no routine for everything. I used to wake up and just impulsively do things based on my whim and emotion. If I felt like doing something, I kind of did it. And if I didn't feel like doing something, I usually couldn't do it because I was just so reliant on this raw motivation, on these impulses. And it turns out that when you make decisions on the go, it's really hard to make the right decisions, and it's really hard to follow through with that decision because your brain, your mind, your body is not simply prepared for it. It then expects this task to come up. So what I then started doing was I started noting a time and a venue for each of the tasks. Like, I pre-planned my day. I started living by a routine. Now I know what time I need to go to the gym. I know what time I need to study. I know what time I need to chill with my friends. I have a time and venue for each of these things. And what this does is it kind of psychologically and physiologically prepares you when that time comes. Like, you're expecting it. Oh yeah, I have to be ready for this task. It's like those neurons, those circuits already start firing themselves and get you in that mood and get you in that phase. There's no negotiating with yourself. There's no debating yourself whether I want to do this or whether I not want to do this. I think debating yourself and making decisions on the go, it adds on to the activation energy required to actually start the task. And when you have the time and when you note it down, it's like, yeah, I just have to follow this list blindly. I don't have room for negotiation. I don't have room for debates. I don't have room for decision making. There's no if, buts, or maybe. So what I would advise is that you should start with a very simple routine, like have like 3 or 4 important tasks that you want to do, and gradually, as you get more efficient at it, as you get more disciplined, add on more tasks to this list and add on more tasks to this routine. The last reason why I was procrastinating so much was because I used to view tasks as a whole. For example, if someone told me that, hey Jibreal, you have a task due, and that task is probably an assignment on a very complicated topic and you have to write an essay on it that is 4 pages long, that would probably give me anxiety and I would never even begin to do that task because it seems like such a mountain. Like, holy shit, this is the monster that I have to contend with. And I used to always procrastinate. It's future Jibreal's problem, not my problem, because of how monstrous the task appeared. What I now do is that I pretty much break the task into subtasks. I actually break this monster down, break the mountain into tiny hills, and finally you will discover a particular subtask that you're okay with doing because it's just so small and it's so tiny. For example, it could be something like, hey, just research 10 minutes about your assignment. Like, literally, that's what I'm talking. Make the task into several subtasks and start by doing the subtasks that you are okay with doing. And if that subtask seems too big and it still causes you anxiety, break that subtask into smaller subtasks. Like, I'm telling you, this approach of breaking a large task into multiple subtasks is so powerful. It is so powerful. Like, if I asked you to, hey bro, climb Mount Everest tomorrow, it's like 8,000 meters high, you would shit your pants. You'd be like, no way, man. You're not even gonna attempt that thing. But if I asked you, hey man, take the first 5 steps, you would do it. you would do it. Every mountain can be broken down into steps. Every task, no matter how complicated it is, even if it's something like building a damn rocket or a space shuttle, you can find a subtask that you are capable of doing right now. You have the energy, you have the resources, you have the motivation to do that tiny, tiny bit of tasks. It could be just like tightening a screw or some shit. So just to recap, these three things pretty much eliminated my procrastination. Number one, I stopped sedating myself. Number two, I had a routine, time and when you decide it, no more decision making on the go. And number three, this is like really, really powerful, is breaking that large task into multiple subtasks and starting with the most doable subtask and gradually building on. Look, if you're someone who's like struggling with procrastination, you're unable to do things, unable to lift your finger, and you need some help to get you out of this rut, then make sure that you click on the link in the description and book a free one-on-one call with me.